that was not made by the hands of men. There is a road, no simple highway between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. Ripple in still water when there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow. You who choose to lead must follow. But if you fall alone. If you should stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. La da da da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da da da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Thank you. Getting her to know this little thing. I haven't played her much, but I'm enjoying it. Such a sweet and gentle voice. So today I want to share with you a couple of thoughts about gentleness and the fields as the summer heat rises. As the summer heat rises, I treat myself with gentleness. From Matthew 11:29, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. From our 365 Tao by Ding Ming Dao, fields. Today, day 191. Worship by cultivating 9 fields: diet, herbs, clothing, recitation, movement, meditation, creativity, teaching, and most important, compassion. Worship is not a matter of making an obedience. It is a cultivation of body, mind, spirit. Just as when we are grateful and we take a drink of water, when you drink the water, remember the source and be grateful. Worship by cultivating 9 fields: diet, herbs, clothing, recitation, movement, meditation, creativity, teaching, and most important, compassion. I'd like to read to you a poem today by E.E. Cummings, born 1894 and joined the Ancestors 1962. If everything happens that can't be done. If everything happens that can't be done, and anything's righter than books could plan, the stupidest teacher will always guess. With a run, skip, around we go, yes. There's nothing as something as one. One hasn't a why or because or although, and buds no better than books don't grow. One's anything old, being everything new. What with a witch, around we come who? One's everything so. So world is a leaf, so tree is a bow, and birds sing sweeter than books tell how. So here is a way, and so your is a my. With a down, up, around again fly, Forever was never till now. Now I love you and you love me, and books are shudder than books can be. And deep in the high that does nothing but fall, with a shout each around we go all. There's somebody calling, who's we? We're anything brighter than even the sun. We're everything greater than books might mean. We're every anything more than believe. With a spin leap alive, we're alive. We're wonderful, 1 times 1. If you would like to receive prayers today, I would like to share these blessings. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be at peace and share your peace with others. May you be loved, and may you be loved today and always. Amen. Jordan, Annie, and I would like to introduce to you Annie Ellicott, our guest today at Park Grove. Thank you.
Well, your voice carried really nicely. Is it? I might really not need this microphone. Can you all hear me pretty well?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks for being here. For those of you who are just regulars and don't know what this is about, I hope you enjoy it. I also have it on my heart to just say that the Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce and the Greenwood community lost a very, very important, beautiful person in their community recently, Sherry Gamble Smith. And I would just like us all to send our love to that community. Okay. So today I'm going to be leading an experiential meditation. It will be guided for the most part. And the subject is moving beyond these really difficult, sticky emotions: isolation, dread, blind rage, shame, and hopelessness. Before I go into moving beyond them, though, I do want to say how important it is to acknowledge the emotions that we hold inside of us. I don't know if you've ever tried really hard to pretend like you're not mad, and then, like, you know, at the most inopportune moment, it's like pop goes the weasel. Or like if you've ever known anybody who fancies themselves enlightened, and so they have to walk around sort of navigating that by being super passive-aggressive with their less enlightened feelings, and it's difficult to be around. And also, it's important in this time to be, as Rebecca said, really gentle with yourself. It's a hell of a time right now. And so if you cannot make these things budge, the last thing I want is for you to be putting shame on top of shame around that. So the goal of this exercise is not to eradicate these feelings. That's not going to happen today. But the goal is to broaden consciousness so that our energy has the room to just move around them, so that we're not completely, held hostage by them in our own bodies. If, being held hostage in your own body is not oppression, I don't know what is. So I want to go through each of these emotions briefly and get specific about what I mean by these words, because words are hard. And I definitely don't want to be misunderstood. These are really sensitive subjects, and it's a sensitive time. So I'm just going to go through them one by one before we get started. Isolation. This to me is like the brood mother of all these other emotions. They actually all work really well to bolster each other. They're like a great team. But isolation is sort of like this beautiful petri dish. I say beautiful in quotes. It's where they can really, grow. And I've also found that it's really helpful when you're feeling isolated if you can simply find some company that you trust. You feel so much better. I feel so much better so fast. So isolation is a good one to work with because you get a lot of bang for your buck when you deal with that one. Isolation has I'm going to call it a healthy cousin, and that's solitude, which is good and which is healing. Dread. I define this as being fear that is so crippling it has totally hijacked your brain and your neurological system. Fear is really good. It's an evolutionary imperative. It keeps us safe. It's also just the reality we're living in is that there are a lot of things to be afraid of. Dread makes you less safe because you don't have access to your autonomy. It impairs your judgment. It's like having the volume up too high. Okay, blind rage. I want to be really careful with this one because righteous anger is a really good thing. It's energizing. It can give you incredible amounts of courage. Even rage itself can be good for keeping you and others safe in an emergency situation in real time, and it can give you superhuman strength. Blind rage is rage that takes the bait. It's less concerned with the truth than it is with the sweet taste of itself. I come from a family of ragers. I had a lot of rage in me as a teenager and as a young adult. And I mean, it's always a little bit there with me, but I've come a long way. I want to share a real-life rage story with you that had to do with expressing my rage online and what those consequences were. About 5 years ago, I guess it was, when the officer Betty Shelby shot Terrence Crutcher, there was a verdict that she was acquitted of all charges. And in that moment, I was possessed with rage. And it felt like a very narrow tunnel of vision. It felt like antsiness, like I felt rushed into action. And I felt like taken over, and I just wanted company in that moment. I wanted people to feel the way I felt. And so I was like reading different articles about it, and I remember I was truly looking for articles that would make people the most enraged. And I came across one that said, it was a quote from her, Betty Shelby's attorney, that said something along the lines of, she's just really looking forward to getting back to her life. And I was like, what? You know? So I shared the article. I wrote a long, angry post about how Terence Crutcher would like to get back to his life. And it caught like wildfire. People were liking and commenting and sharing, multiple shares. Somebody said to me, "Are you sure that she said that? That seems unbelievable that her attorney would say that." And I was like, "Here's the article," and they were like, "Wow, yeah." And I was like, "Wait a second, that seems a little bit unlikely that her attorney would would lack the awareness to say that to reporters." And I looked back at this website, and it was abcnews.com something else. There were two little things at the end of it. And then I started looking around at the other stories in the margins, and there was like a story about a dog person. I looked through it, and I realized this is a fabricated, fake news story. They made this article seem very real, and they just added this extra little thing to catch my rage. And I took the bait, and I spread the bait, and other people took the bait, and they spread the bait. And I had to get back online and say, I shared fake news, and so did you. And there was an MIT study that shows that fake news spreads 6 times faster than the truth. And depressingly, or not depressingly, because actually we have more control over this, the study showed that it wasn't really bots, it was us. It was us. We're the ones doing it. So we need to watch for that. There's enough in this world to be incensed about, and we need all of our focus in the right place. And we don't need to be giving other people bait to discredit us. So there's my rage story. And I want to cap it because this is such an important point. I want to just reiterate again. There are people who are so angry right now, and they are also calling out to other people to support them, to advocate for them, and that is not what I'm talking about here. Moving on to shame. So, Brené Brown, I don't know if you've read Brené Brown, but she is so wonderful. She's so wonderful. She has done a lot of research on shame. And I'm just going to share her quote here. She's the expert. "Based on my research and the research of other shame researchers, I believe that there is a profound difference between shame and guilt. I believe that guilt is adaptive and helpful. It's holding the something we've done or failed to do up against our values and feeling psychological discomfort. I define shame as the intensely painful feeling or experience of believing that we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love and belonging. Something we've experienced, done, or failed to do makes us unworthy of connection. I don't believe shame is helpful or productive. In fact, I think shame is much more likely to be the source of destructive, hurtful behavior than the solution or cure. I think the fear of disconnection can make us dangerous." So, it's a fine line between shame and guilt. And you just have to ask yourself, is this making me, is this giving me energy to make a positive change? Or is it isolating me? Is it making me afraid? Is it filling me with dread? Is it causing me to speak to myself in ways that I wouldn't even speak to my worst enemy? For instance, that's a habit of mine that I've gotten a lot better at in recent years as well. Hopelessness, that's the final one. Mega energy vortex, mega energy vortex. And this is a really tough one to pull your own self out of. So send for help. All right. And since we're in a church, I'm going to ask that you pray for me to receive the miracle of being able to read my own chicken scratch. Okay. We're beginning our guided meditation now. Sitting in your chair, make yourself comfortable. Close your eyes if you'd like. If you want to keep them open, that's fine. I'd like you to, for this exercise, put your left hand on your left thigh and your right hand on your right thigh. And just breathe for a moment. I want you to bring your attention to your left hand. I want you to shine a really focused beam of attention into the inside of your left hand. Feel the inside of your hand tingling. If the inside of your hand had a shape, what would it be? Is it shaped like your hand? Does it have another shape? What size is it? Is it bigger than your hand? Or the same size? What's the tingling doing? Is it moving into your wrist? Breathe and stay focused on your left hand. Now I want you to bring your attention to your right hand. And I want you to compare the way your left hand feels with how your right hand feels. Is there a difference? A lot of people will experience, they feel the inside of their left hand more than their right hand. There's something going on there. There's something palpable that you can feel that's different. This is just energy. Wherever your attention goes, energy goes. And you can always recharge your own battery by putting your attention back into yourself, into your body. So put your attention into your right hand. Breathe. Let your attention scan your body. Bring it into the arms, into the chest, the stomach. How does it feel? Does it feel intense, uncomfortable? Does it hurt? Does it feel good? Are there emotions that come up? Bring it into your legs and your feet. Breathe. Bring it into your head. Think of what you're experiencing in purely physical terms. Are there places it doesn't want to go? Are there places it rushes to? Now move your attention to the mind. And I want you to watch your mind like a scientist observing someone else's mind. Don't try to quiet the mind, but observe it with curiosity and detachment. The things that come up, notice that they come from an unknown origin. Without your assistance or permission. What's the quality of what's coming up? Is it images? Is it words? Is it memories? Is it the same thought over and over? Is there judgment around what it is that's coming up? If there is, watch that like a curious scientist observing someone else's mind. Now turn your attention to the one who's watching. Is there someone or something watching that? I want you to think back to yourself when you were a small child, with an entirely different body and brain, with different needs, fears, and perceptions. How vastly different that person is from you as you are today. Think of yourself as an adolescent, 10 years old, completely different set of needs, fears, perceptions, totally different body. Think of yourself as a teenager. How changed you are. How drastically different your understanding of reality is. So many vastly different iterations of you. What strings them all together and makes you, you? It is this single locus of consciousness, quietly observing. That is the real, unchanging you. And that you, consciousness, is an absolute mystery still to modern science. It's a total mystery. Now open your eyes, if they're not already open. I want you to use what I call soft eyes which is where you're not looking out, but you're letting the images come to you. And there's no single point of focus. The periphery is just as much a part of the picture as what's in the center. I want you to see that everything you're looking at is an extension of the same field you were observing on the interior of your mind. Because in reality, there is so much information outside of the scope of our perception that we filter and interpret drastically. So in a very literal sense, the boundaries between you and the world around you are not as concrete as they seem. Now, if you wish, slowly stand. And just walk around the room. Walk around the room and keep those soft eyes. Yeah, stretch, do what you have to do to take care of your body. Continuing to take everything in as one continuous expression of consciousness. How would you walk if you were going to be walking around in this room for 10,000 years? Don't worry, I won't make you do that. But how would you walk? How would you breathe? How would you take care of your body? Now, I want you to find a partner by going to the first person you make eye contact with. Again, everything we're doing is optional. If anything becomes too much, feel free to have a seat and observe. Okay. Stand as far apart as you wish. Take your partner in with those same soft eyes. This is intense. That's normal. I want to take you through a really amazing story of evolution. Billions of years ago, from a primordial goo of mysterious origin within a space of equally mysterious origin, prokaryotes appeared. Over 1 billion years later, flatworms had evolved. A few million years later, simple fish. Over the next few million years, those fish developed cartilage, then bones, then lungs. They crawled out of the water. They became reptiles, marsupials, monkeys, Homo erectus, and finally arrived at Homo sapien. Following that, we have 350,000 years of human history. Hunter-gatherers, the development of language, the discovery of fire. Cumulative generational knowledge grew into cultures, into civilizations. More languages, countless religions and governmental systems, marvelous inventions and discoveries. And through all the wars, all the plagues and dangerous migrations, some violently forced, mass genocide, famines, and natural disasters. From 2 prokaryotes, 2 unbroken chains of evolution, unbroken for billions of years, have wound their way to this moment, standing upright, right across from each other, with a common language and a brain so complex that they can follow this crazy kind of acid trip of a true story. Can you fathom the deep well of intelligence this person across from you holds within their DNA and through their long, totally unique family history? And from being the constant silent observer of their own life for all these years. And you have that same deep well. You are forged from a long line of incredibly resourceful, adaptive, creative, and resilient lives. We all are. And it's nothing short of a miracle, of astronomical odds that we are here at all. And just take a moment to come to an end of this connection that you've shared with your partner. Thank them if you'd like. Hug them if you'd like. Apologize for staring them in the face for several minutes, because at some point in our evolutionary history, that was a really not a nice thing to do. And we will now move into an improvisation led by lovely Jordan, lovely Peter Tom Shawnee, for those of you who don't know him, and Jordan Hale, if you don't know him, and myself. And I would like to invite you all to participate with sound or movement if you feel moved. Absolutely no pressure to do so. Thanks, guys. So I just have a few more words to wrap up before we move into the next thing. It is a heavy, scary, overwhelming time, but you're not alone. And the impulse for survival, evolution, and freedom is a powerful force. And no matter how long the road is, it's always just one step at a time. There is a step you can take today, some simple one. Making a phone call, making a brain dump of ideas into your laptop, or looking for an organization to support that shares your values, or saying something you're afraid to say to someone you love. As long as we're moving forward in love and with courage and humility, evolution will keep meandering, I believe. I'd like to close with a poem by David White that one of my most dear mentors shared with me. Bob Dunges. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third step. Start with the first thing close in, the step you don't want to take. Start with the ground you know, the pale ground beneath your feet. Your own way of starting the conversation. Start with your own question. Give up on other people's questions. Don't let them smother something simple. To find another voice, follow your own voice. Wait until that voice becomes a private ear listening to another. Start right now. Take a small step you can call your own. Don't follow someone else's heroics. Be humble and focused. Don't mistake that other for your own. In this poem, I say in the spirit of not letting yourself be swallowed up. Of course, it's important to follow others' heroic leads, and it's important to listen to other voices. But it's easy to get swallowed up. And you have a deep intelligence within you. And you have important things to share. So, thank you. That concludes the presentation, the exercise. Would anybody like to share an experience they had or ask any questions?
Well, thank you, Annie. That was great.
Thanks.
That was really good.
Well, man, thanks for hanging in with me.
Sure. So do you have a particular basis for how you thought to do all of this today? Can you explain to me and everyone how you got to be up there and do what you did today? Can you give us kind of the story behind the story?
Well, Jordan Hale invited me to come and give a presentation. He may not, maybe I, brought more than he bargained for, but I got a lot of this. Well, I took a meditation class when I was 22 at a time that was really crucial for me to do that. It really saved me. I was operating from extreme dysfunction, and it was very, very helpful. That started me along a path where I found a group called Integral Transformative Practice, which is similar to like a Hatha yoga group. It's a people who get together, a community of people who get together and just sort of have certain guidelines they follow and support each other in a very, slow-moving and sustainable personal evolution. I wish there were an elevator speech to give for this group. It's something you might just have to go look up. Integral Transformative Practice. It's not even an easy thing to remember. But that. And then, I had a very tough time through the pandemic. And a lot of what I'm sharing, these emotions, a tough time from the pandemic to the present, I should say. These emotions have been really, really difficult for me to contend with and work through. And I just thought, well, my best guess is that other people have been experiencing that too. So I came up with this guided meditation from a whole amalgam of things I've come across through the years, practices that had a profound effect on me, exercises that were helpful for me. And I put it together as my offering. So take from it what you need, and leave the rest.
It's very good.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna really close, really for real. Well, not really for real, because then we're going to, once we're done, there's going to be one more quick thing, a quick prayer. This song is called Tangle and Spark, and my friend David Horton and I wrote it.
Sky with love, my love, how lovely, how nobody knows where everything goes. We gamble, we gain, gone all the same, out of sight, planets ignite. Pinholes of light, so silent, so slight. If I should have to lose you, my friend, live on beyond your monumental end. Stars fall apart, I'll burn your brain into my heart in the park. We tangle and spark, afraid of the dark, afraid of the dark. Shadows deepen and grow. See how they glow as love seeps in slow. love seeps in slow, side by side. Small worlds collide. We seek and we hide. We seek and we hide. Suddenly struck with wonder, how this began, oh, how can it all end? Nobody knows why everything grows, reaches and flows, ineffably close, ineffably close, ineffably close. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Russell.
Well, it just keeps getting better each week. I'm going to say a few words, and then I have some announcements afterwards. He who is mentally concentrated sees things accordingly to reality. Meditation rids the mind of defilement of delusion or ignorance, reducing bias, envy, and other factors that cloud our mind and judgment. And that's what happened to me today during that. That was very great. On the other end, you know, most of us grew up in church that are here, and prayer is a form of meditation also. So traditionally, we pray to a higher power, our God, to cultivate an attitude of humility, acceptance, and establishes our relationships with our spirituality and our beliefs. So please join me in this simple prayer I have. Heavenly Spirit, thanks for getting us here today and enjoying this very fine service we had. And we also want you to help guide everybody that is having trouble right now in the world, that are hurting, lonely, and just help them with their struggle. Everybody have a very safe week, and we will be here next week to enlighten ourselves and hopefully everybody around us. Amen. Okay, I got a few announcements that we got going on here at the church. This Monday, we're going to have a creative community choir with Sarah and Jordan, and that will be at 7 p.m. They're also going to do that on the 25th. They want to do it twice a month. And if you enjoyed today's service, on the 20th, we will have meditative music, and that was very nice for us that attended last time. You know, it was eye-opening for me. You know, I've never been to a guided meditation like that before the first time, and, you know, it's something that it really, really helped me. So we would love to see you out here. Another thing we have going on is we'll have our first official sound check here on the 17th, and everybody is welcome to come and enjoy. What time did we want to start that, Peter?
Spaghetti at 6, music at 7.
All right, spaghetti at 6, music at 7. That sounds be fun. Also, our guest last week, King Cabbage, is going to play this Friday at Cane's. And also on the, I don't know what date it is. I don't have it written down. Yeah, the Pause and Need Tulsa Rock and Rescue. It's at 2 p.m. at Cane's. And it'll be with Crow, Scissortails, Brad James Band, Whirligig, and Dirtbox Whalers. There'll be a silent auction, which Patrick, who does our, he does a very good job on our stream. He donated some of his photography for it. And yeah, also at that, for the silent auction, and also Chris Mantle will be doing a live painting there. So yeah, that's just a few things going on. Also, if you guys, I know it's hot and everything, but every Wednesday and Saturday from 7 to 10, they meet at the Challenger 7 Park up here for the community garden. And, you know, it's a very fulfilling thing for me. You know, I haven't been a couple of weeks, but, you know, whenever I go, they're always just happy to have people helping them. So, and that is every Wednesday and Saturday from 7 to noon or 11, when, you know, might not even be that long. You know, it just matters how much work you get done and how many people are there. Also, another thing is I'm starting to partner up with the Red Fork Food Bank, which is located at the Red Fork Baptist Church, which is on 41st Street. And if you take the, if you go just north, it's right before you hit the bridge that goes over to Southwest Boulevard. There's a little sign there too, and it's an open food bank. You know, there's no questions, no haggling. You know, they just want to make sure everybody gets fed. You know, and you know, people need help. This time right now, it's rough. But thanks everybody, and come see us next week.